and welcome to the program, Tecia Pennington. Tecia, how are you?
I'm really good, excited for this weekend.
Talk about another fight week. I mean, are they all the same? You've had enough of these that, is it just status quo, or do you try to change them up a little just to get through the next couple days?
This week is different because I have Alea with me, my daughter. I got Raquel and her their own room because my daughter unfortunately did not sleep through the night yet. But outside of that, it's pretty normal. Right now I'm actually shopping because that's what I do. I just go and shop and take my mind off things, and luckily for me I don't really cut weight, so I don't have to worry about any of that, and I sleep a lot.
Well, it's funny that you just said that because, I wanted to ask you about motherhood and how has that changed you? And obviously starting with, the time in the day.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Time management is a big thing. I'd probably say that's the most different thing. When Raquel was in camp, I kind of was taking care of everything, and now that I've been in camp, she's been taking care of everything. And we honestly have just been sleeping in the guest room because, like I said, we co-sleep, so having Alea wake up 2 times a night, that doesn't really help us sleep. But we've made a good routine of it.
I try to talk, to people that haven't had children. I have 2 children and I have 3 grandkids now, and it just so totally changes everything you do. Your daily, process, how you feel about things when you turn and you look at that little child, or, my son's 36. I look at him the same way as my 4-year-old grandchild.
It's 100% that, what you just said. Until you have a child, you really don't know what it feels like.
I'll tell you what every parent tells their kids. My parents told me this. You love your child to death. You love your children to death. But wait till you get a grandchild. It's like night and day. It's crazy how different it is.
I do hear that too. I hope I'm not a grandmother for a very long time, but when I am, I'm sure it's going to be that, and spoil the heck out of them like she's spoiled.
I've spent more money on my 4-year-old granddaughter at Disney World than I have my 36 and 30-year-old children.
I believe you 100%.
Do you collect anything? Did you collect anything before motherhood, and has that changed in whatever it may be that you collect?
Not really before, but now that I am a mother, I'm definitely keepsaking outfits that I like of hers, that I want to pass down or have other children wear, because Raquel's mom saved so many of her newborn outfits and just little baby dolls and books. I have a whole bunch of her books from when she was little, original Lion King and all that stuff. So I want to do that for my kids, and then just have all my kids kind of wear the same thing would be kind of cool. But more or less what I'm getting is keepsake things, so my children can have stuff like that. Because I thought it was amazing having the things that she's given me and knowing, wow, this is 35 years ago. Raquel wore this. Now Leah's wearing it.
For sure. It definitely is cool. Saturday, you're back in the octagon. Give me your thoughts on Tabatha.
I think she looks like a well-rounded fighter. I mean, she's very similar to me in stature, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Both short and really muscular. And she looks fast, but I believe I'm faster than her. I think I have more ring knowledge, more ring experience than her. It's a really fun fight. I think the fans are going to win in this one.
A lot of times fans don't understand. You just made the comment it's going to be a fun fight. Fans are like, fun. How do you put the word fun in a fist fight?
It truly is fun. I don't know. I mean, if you didn't love it, I don't know why you're doing it. I mean, getting hit is not fun. But at the end of the day, when I get in there, just adrenaline hits you.
What goes into the process of preparing for a fight? How much of it, a lot of fighters look at film and look at their opponent, and some have told me that they don't look, their team looks at it. I mean, do you look at your opponent, or is that not even really important? It's what you're going to do, not what your opponent does.
In the beginning of my career, I definitely watched more film on my opponents, but nowadays, most of the time I've already seen the girl fight, just being a fan of the sport. But otherwise, I'll watch 1 or 2 fights, and I let my coaches, break them down.
What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you, involving you in a fight, whether it's the octagon or other organizations?
craziest thing that's happened. It's a little personal. When I fought Jessica Andrade, she kneed me in, in my private part, and in the fight, like, they didn't stop it or anything, but I knew it was bruised. So then after the fight, I went into the back, and at the time, we were like allowed to still take showers, and they didn't just like rush us out of the place. I was like bleeding, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm not on my period or anything. She split me.
Wow.
Split me on my private part. That's the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
That-
But it was like Wolverine. I promise you, the next day I went to the hospital to check it out, and they're like, I don't see anything. And it was no longer there, but it was, I promise you.
It was there. That's crazy. I believe that the new UFC gloves don't start until June 1st. Have you seen them yet? And do you have thoughts on them if you have?
I actually put on one of them on my left, and then the ones that we have now this morning. But they weren't like, crushed in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They weren't worn in yet.
Right,
They were
broken
brand
in.
new. They both were like, very, I couldn't barely move into them. But they look slimmer and thought, but I don't, honestly, they still are not as great as I would like them to be. But they look nice. The design of them is nice.
Anything that can pull the fingers down a little to stop, these eye pokes, obviously is the best.
Exactly. They're a little bit more curved. We'll have to see when the athlete's actually fighting them.
For sure. And finally, we briefly talked about your opponent. What can the fans expect to see Saturday night when the two of you get back in the octagon?
A new and energized me. I mean, I have all the motivation in the world now with my daughter, and then, Raquel winning the world title. That motivated the heck out of me, too, to know that it's still attainable for me. But my tiny trainer self still, I would like to do lots of spin stuff. So if that happens on Saturday, you know that I achieved what I wanted to achieve and got my hand raised.
Okay, I told a story. I have one more. What's harder for you fighting this Saturday or when Raquel's fighting?
Nerve-wracking wise, like nerves, Raquel. Me, it's like it's so fun, and yes, I'm nervous, excited, but I'm not scared anymore. Like, I've been doing it too long. There's nothing that she can do that I've never seen before. I've fought the best of the best. But when the person you love is in there, you're like biting your teeth, and you don't want them to get hurt or blood, and like, I'm very emotional, so I'll cry a lot.
Right, and there's nothing you can do. You don't want them to get hurt, and there's nothing you can do because you're outside. Tecia, thank you very